पूजियले गम्य सर्वच कळले 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 भरता पोकळी रिकामी आई तुझी आधामी आई तुझी ब्रह्म शोधिले ब्रह्मांड मिळाले आई तुझी आधार ब्रह्म शोधिले ब्रह्मांड मिळाले आई तुझी आधार अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या मी हृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले स्वहृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले स्वहृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले मी साक्षी आले अनुभूतीने चैतन्याच्या स्वहृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले स्वहृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले स्वहृदयी तुझ मी साक्षी आले धर्म सत्वहीन नश्वर आहे धर्म सत्वहीन नश्वर आहे देवा विनमज हे कळले देवा विनमज हे कळले देवा विनमज हे कळले सत्य सत्य सर्वच 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 कळले मजला अंतर्यामी आई तुझी आधामी आई तुझी आधामी ब्रह्म शोधिले ब्रह्मांड मिळाले आई तुझी आधामी ब्रह्म शोधिले ब्रह्मांड मिळाले सुप्तातून मज जागृती येता सुप्तातून मज जागृती येता सुप्तातून मज जागृती येता सुप्तातून मज जागृती येता ध्यानात मन स्थिरावदे ध्यानात मन स्थिरावदे ध्यानात मन स्थिरावदे ध्यानात मन स्थिरावले पुणे पण गेले अधिकण गेले पुणे पण गेले अधिकही गेले पुणे पण गेले अधिकही गेले पुणे पण गेले अधिकही गेले पुणे
ஜெய் ஸ்ரீமாதச்சி. அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கங்கள். இன்று வெள்ளிக்கிழமை நமது இறுதிய சக்கரம் ஸ்ரீ துர்கா மாதா ஸ்ரீ ஜெகதம்பா குரிய நாள். நமது கவனத்தை தலை உச்சிக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். கவனம் எங்கிருக்கின்றது? தலை உச்சியில் இருந்து முழுமையாக சுழுமுனை நாடி வழியாக எமது அனைத்து சக்கரங்களையும் கவனிக்கின்றதா? இங்கு கவனத்தை நாம் கஷ்டப்படுத்தி வைப்பதல்ல, லேசாக நாம் உம்மை கவனிக்கிறோம். இரு உள்ளம் கைகளையும் கவனிப்போம். 10 விரல் நுனிகளை கவனிப்போம். நமது சுவாசத்தை கவனிப்போம். நல்ல ஆழமான சுவாசத்தை உள்ளிழுத்து நாம் பிடித்து வைத்து வெளிவிடுவோம். வெளிவிட்டு நாம் அமைதி அடைந்ததும் நமது சுவாசத்தை கவனத்தோடு அமைதிப்படுத்துவோம். சுவாசத்தை சாதாரணமான அமைதியான நிலைக்கு கொண்டு வந்து நமது கவனத்தோடு ஒன்றாக்குவோம். இப்பொழுது நமது சாஸ்திரத்தில் இருந்து கொண்டு உள்முகமாக நமது முழு கவனத்தையும் சுழுமுனை நாடி வழியாக கொண்டு செல்வோம். மூலாதாரம், இப்பொழுது நமது வலது கையால் முழந்தண்டு அடிப்பாகத்திலிருந்து குண்டலினி அன்னையை நமது கவனத்தோடு நாம் மெதுவாக எடுத்து வருவோம். எடுத்து தலை உச்சிக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். நமது 5 விரல்களையும் தலை உச்சிக்குழியை நோக்கி நாம் வைப்போம். அதாவது நாம் முள்ளந்தண்டு வழியாக முள்ளந்தண்டு அடிப்பாகத்தில் இருந்து நாம் குண்டலினி அன்னை வைப்ரேஷன்ஸ், அதாவது பரம சைத்தன்யம் நாம் எடுத்துக்கொண்டு வந்து 5 விரல்களாலும் நாம் நமது சாஸ்திரத்துக்கு செல்ல விடுவோம். இவ்வாறு 7 தடவை நாம் செய்வோம். 2வது தடவை ஆறுதலாக முழு கவனத்தோடு நாம் எடுத்து வருவோம். தலை உச்சி குழியில் தலைக்கு மேல் எமது 5 விரல்களையும் விரல் நுனிகளையும் எமது சஹஸ்ராரத்தை நோக்கி செலுத்துவோம். மூன்றாவது முறை மெதுவாக இப்பொழுது 4வது முறை விரல் நுனிகள் சஹஸ்ராரத்தை நோக்கி இருக்கட்டும். இந்நிலையில் நாம் எமது தலைக்குள் சுழுமுனை நாடி சஹஸ்ராரத்தில் இருந்து நடுவாக ஒரு குழாய் போல் நாம் செல்வதை அவதானிப்போம். நமது மூளையை 2 பாகமாக பிரித்து நடுவில் ஒரு வெற்றிடமான ஒரு குழாய் அல்லது ஒரு அமைதியான அந்த நிலையை நாம் அங்கு உணரலாம். லேசான ஒரு இடைவெளி. இப்பொழுது 5வது தடவை மெதுவாக எடுத்து வருவோம். நெற்றியில் நாம் செல்லும் போது அந்த இடைவெளியை உணர்வோம். இப்பொழுது 6வது தடவை இது 7வது தடவை. இப்பொழுது எமது கையை நன்றாக விரித்து எமது உள்ளம் கையை எமது சஹஸ்ராரத்துக்கு மேல் ஒரு 2-3 அங்குலம் உயர்த்தி வைத்து சிறிது நேரம் அவதானிப்போம். நமது தலை உச்சி குழி 2 உள்ளம் கைகள் விரல் நுனிகள் 10 விரல் நுனிகளை அவதானி. அனைத்தும் கூலாக அதாவது குளிர்ச்சியாக இருக்கின்றதா? சுழுமுனை நாடி வழியாக எமது சுவாசம் அமைதியாக நடைபெறுகின்றதா? சஹஸ்ராரத்திலிருந்து மூலாதாரம், மூலாதாரத்திலிருந்து சஹஸ்ராரம். இந்நிலையில் குண்டலினி அணையை எழுப்பி கவசம் இட்டுக்கொள்வோம். முதலாவது தடவை நாம் மூலாதாரத்தில் ஒரு சிறிது நேரம் எமது இடது கை உள்ளம் கையை மூலாதாரத்தை நோக்கி வைத்து வலது கையால் சிறிது நேரம் சுற்றுவோம். முழு கவனமும் மூலாதார சக்கரத்தில். பின்பு இப்பொழுது சுவாதிஸ்தானம் சிறிது நேரம் சுற்றுவோம். சுவாதிஸ்தானத்தில் கவனம். இப்பொழுது நாபி மற்றும் பவசாகரம். இப்பொழுது இருதயம். இப்பொழுது விஷுதி. விஷுதிக்கு வரும்போது தலையை நாம் பின்பக்கம் சரிப்போம். இப்பொழுது நெற்றி. இப்பொழுது கையை நாம் மேலே கொண்டு போய் இரு கைகளையும் சுற்றுவோம். ஒரு முடிச்சு போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். கை விரல்களை ஆகாயத்தை நோக்கி வைத்து சிறிது நேரம் அவதானிப்போம். மெதுவாக இரு கைகளையும் கீழே கொண்டு வருவோம். இப்பொழுது 2வது முறை மூலாதாரத்தில் சிறிது நேரம் கைகளை சுற்றுவோம். நுண்ணதிர்வுகளை அவதானியுங்கள், அதிகரிப்பை. இப்பொழுது சுவாதிஷ்டானம், நாபி, பவசாகரம், இருதயம், விஷுதி, ஆகிய நெற்றி மற்றும் மேலே கொண்டு போய் இரு கைகளையும் சுற்றி 2 முடிச்சு. 1 2. இரு கைகளையும் கீழே கொண்டு வருவோம். 3வது முறை மூலாதாரம், சுவாதிஷ்டானம், நாபி, பவசாகரம், இருதயம், விஷுதி ஆகிய. இப்பொழுது மேலே இரு கைகளையும் சுற்றி 3 முடிச்சுகள். 1 2 3. இரு கைகளையும் கீழே கொண்டு வருவோம். இப்பொழுது கவசம் எடுத்துக்கொள்வோம். மூலாதாரம், சுவாதிஷ்டானம், நாபி, பவசாகரம், இருதயம், விஷுதி ஆகிய சஹஸ்ராரம். இரு கைகளையும் கூப்பி வணங்கி இன்றைய தியானத்தை ஆரம்பிப்போம். உப்பு நீர் சுத்திகரிப்புக்கு தயாராக வந்தவர்கள் நாம் உப்பு நீர் சுத்திகரிப்பு செய்யலாம். நமது இடது கையை ஸ்ரீமாதச்சியை நோக்கி வைத்து வலது கையை நமது நீருக்குள் தண்ணீரை நோக்கி வைப்போம். வலது கை 5 விரல்களையும் ஸ்ரீமாதச்சியிடம் பிரார்த்திப்போம். ஸ்ரீமாதச்சி, தாங்களே அனைத்து பஞ்சபூதங்களையும் ஆளும் தெய்வமாகும். இந்த நீர் தத்துவம், இந்த சமுத்திரம், இந்த நீருக்கு இந்த சமுத்திரத்தின் சக்தியை தந்தருளும். முழுமையாக என்னை இந்த நீர் தத்துவம் மூலமாக தூய்மைப்படுத்தி விடுங்கள். இப்பொழுது நமது இரு கால்களையும் அதில் வைப்போம். வைத்து நமது இடது நாடியை நாம் தூய்மைப்படுத்துவோம். தாயே, எனது கவனம் உலக விடயங்கள், உலக உலக மாயையில் சிக்கிக் கொள்கின்றது. இதனால் எனக்கு மமகாரம், மனக்கட்டுப்பாடுகள், பிழையான கொள்கைகள், தவறான எண்ணங்கள், பிழையான வாழ்க்கை, இவைகளால் எனக்கு மனக்கட்டுப்பாடு உருவாகின்றது. எனது இந்த கடந்த கால வாழ்வின் நாள் ஏற்பட்ட அனைத்து மனக்கட்டுப்பாடுகள், மமகாரத்தை முழுமையாக அகற்றிவிடுங்கள். எம்மை ஆத்மாவை விட்டு எம்மை விலக்கி எம்மை எடுத்துச் செல்லும் இந்த உலக விடயங்களில் இருந்து என்னை முழுமையாக விடுவித்து விடுங்கள். எனது முழு கவனமும் எனது ஆத்மாவில் இருக்க எனக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். எனது கவனம் முழுமையாக உலக விஷயங்களில் இருந்து எடுத்து எனது ஆத்மாவுக்கு எனது கவனத்தை முழுமையாக கொண்டு வர எனக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். தங்கள் அருளால் நான் ஆத்ம விழிப்புணர்வை பெற்றுக்கொண்டேன். எனது இருதயத்தில் பிரகாசிக்கும் இந்த ஆத்ம தத்துவத்துக்கு நான் தலை வணங்குகின்றேன். स्वामेव साक्षात् श्री महाकाली भैरवनाथ साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. நமது இடது கை 5 விரல்களையும் அவதானிப்போம். உள்ளம் கை மற்றும் உச்சந்தலை, நமது உச்சம் தலை, இருதய பீடம் தளர்வடைந்து விரிவடைந்து அங்கு ஒரு அமைதி. நான் ஒரு தூய ஆத்மா, பரமாத்மாவின் பிரதிபலிப்பு. அந்த ஆத்மா எனது இருதயத்தில் பிரகாசிக்கின்றது. ஆத்மாவின் நற்பண்புகள் எனது இதயத்தை முழுமையாக சூழ்ந்து கொள்கின்றது. இதனால் ஏற்படும் ஒரு மன ஆறுதல், அமைதி, ஆனந்தம். நமது நற்குணங்களால் நமக்கு கிடைக்கும் ஒரு ஆனந்தம், ஆத்ம ஆனந்தம். இப்பொழுது நமது வலது கையை மடியில் வைத்து இடது கை ஆகாயத்தை நோக்கி வைப்போம். மாதச்சி நாம் நமது அறியாமையால் இந்த உலகத்தில் எதையாவது செய்யலாம், எதையாவது தனித்து சாதிக்கலாம் என்று எண்ணுகிறோம். இதனால் அதீத சிந்தனைகள், செயல்களுக்கு உட்பட்டு லட்சியங்கள், எமது லட்சியங்களுக்குள், உலக லட்சியங்களுக்குள் அகப்பட்டு முழுமையாக அதில் கவனம் செல்கின்றது. அதனால் அந்த செயல்களால் நாம் நமக்கு அகங்காரம் ஏற்படுகின்றது. மகிழ்ச்சி. தங்கள் அருளால் நான் எனது கூட்டு விழிப்புணர்வை பெற்றுக்கொண்டேன். நான் தனித்தவன் அல்ல, பரபிரம்மத்தின் ஓர் அங்கம். எனது உடலில் உள்ள அங்கங்கள் அனைத்தையும் மூளை, எமது மத்திய நரம்பு தொகுதியில் மூளையின் கட்டுப்பாட்டில் அவை மூளையோடு ஒத்து இயங்குகின்றது. அதனால் ஒரு ஒருங்கிணைப்பு, அமைதி ஏற்படுகின்றது. அதேபோல் நானும் பரபிரம்மத்தின் ஒரு அங்கம். பரபிரம்மே அனைத்தையும் கட்டுப்படுத்துகிறது. நானும் பரபிரம்மத்தோடு ஒன்றாகி இயங்கும் போது அந்த அமைதி கிடைக்கின்றது. இது பரபிரம்மத்தால், பரபிரம்மம் நம்மை முழுமையாக ஏற்றுக்கொள்வதால் ஏற்படக்கூடியது. எனவே நாம் இறை சக்தியை பிரார்த்திப்போம். எனது அகங்காரத்தை முழுமையாக அமைதிப்படுத்தி என்னை முழுமையாக ஏற்றுக்கொண்டு உங்கள் கட்டுப்பாட்டில் என்னை வைத்திருங்கள் தாயே. எனது எண்ணங்கள், செயல்கள் அனைத்தும் தங்கள் மூலமாக நடைபெறட்டும். நான் ஒன்றும் செய்வதில்லை, அனைத்தும் தெய்வீகமே செய்கின்றது. நாம் முழுமையான கவனத்தோடு இருக்க வேண்டும். தெய்வீகத்தின் வழிநடத்தலை நாம் புரிந்து கொள்வதற்கு தூய கவனம் அவசியம். தாயே, நமக்கு தூய கவனத்தை தந்தருளுங்கள். எப்பொழுதும் கவனம் ஆத்மாவில் இருக்கும் போது நாம் அந்த வழிகாட்டலை நன்றாக புரிந்து கொள்ளலாம். எனவே எமது எண்ணங்கள், செயல்கள் அனைத்தும் புனிதமானவையாக, நல்வழி, எம்மை முழுமையாக நல்வழிக்கு எடுத்து செல்வதாக அமையும். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महासरस्वती श्री हनुमाना साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता ची श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. இப்பொழுது நமது இடது கையை மடக்கிக் கொண்டு வருவோம். அடு நாடி நமது சுழுமுனை நாடி நம்மை ஆத்ம முன்னேற்றத்தில் எடுத்து செல்லும் சக்தி. இங்கு நாம் உலக விடயங்களால், உலக சலனங்கள், எதிர்மறை சக்திகளால் நாம் எமது தேடுதலில் உண்மையாக இருக்கும் நிலையை இழக்கின்றோம். செயற்கையாக இருக்கின்றோம். உண்மையான தேடுதல் இதயபூர்வமாக வருவதிலிருந்து எமது கவனம் விலகிச் செல்கின்றது. நாம் தேடுதலில் உண்மையாகவும் நேர்மையாகவும் இருக்க வேண்டும். முழுமையாக சத்தியத்தில் இருக்க வேண்டும். இந்த சத்தியத்தில் இருப்பது நாம் முழுமையாக ஆத்மாவை தேடுகின்றோம். தெய்வீகத்தின் பிரதிபலிப்பு ஆத்மாவின் அனைத்து நற்பண்புகள் அவற்றின் ஆனந்தத்தை நாம் எமக்குள் உணரும் போது எமது நற்பண்புகளின் எமக்குள் இருக்கும் நற்பண்புகள் எமக்கு ஆனந்தத்தை தருவதை நாம் உணர ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது நாம் சத்தியத்தில் இருப்பது மிகவும் இலகுவாகின்றது. ஏனென்றால் அதனுடைய பயன் நமக்கு ஆனந்தம். அந்த இனம் புரியாத ஒரு ஆனந்தம், சக்தி வாய்ந்த நிலை. எனவே எமது கவனத்தை எப்பொழுதும் நாம் தூய ஆத்மாவில் வைப்போம். நம்மை இந்த நிலைக்கு எடுத்து கொண்டு வந்த இந்த நிலைக்கு நம்மை உயர்த்திய ஸ்ரீ மாத்திச்சி அவர்களை முழுமையாக அறிந்து கொள்வோம். பணிவோடு ஸ்ரீ மாத்திச்சி எமது சாஸ்திரத்தில் நிறுத்தி நமது சாஸ்திரத்தில் ஸ்ரீ மாத்திச்சி நாம் காணுவோம். அவருடைய பாதங்களில் முழுமையாக நாம் சரணாகதி அடைவோம். அனைத்தையும் நாம் சரணாகதி செய்து எமது எண்ணங்கள், கவலைகள், பிரச்சனைகள் அனைத்து முழுமையாக சரணாகதி செய்து எம்மை முழுமையாக வழிகாட்ட எமது இருதயத்தை திறந்து அர்ப்பணித்து சிறிது நேரம் தியானத்தில் இருப்போம். ஸ்ரீ மகாலட்சுமி ஸ்ரீ கணேச மந்திரம் சொல்லுவோம். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी श्री गणेशा साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. இன்று நமது இறுதிய சக்கரத்துக்குரிய நாள். நமக்கு தன் நம்பிக்கை, இறை நம்பிக்கையை தந்து நம்மை முழுமையாக ஒரு பாதுகாப்பான நிலைக்கு அன்பு, கருணை, நமது கடமை உணர்வுகள், தர்ம நெறி, தன்னம்பிக்கை, பாதுகாப்பு உணர்வு, இறை நம்பிக்கை இவை மூலமாக நாம் முழுமையான பாதுகாப்பை உணர்கின்றோம். இந்த பாதுகாப்பு நிலை நமக்கு உலகத் தாய் மூலமாக கிடைக்கின்றது. அந்த உலகத் தாயின் பிரதிபலிப்பே எமது அன்னை குண்டலினியாக எமக்குள் எமது மன உறுதியாக, எமது தூய விருப்பமாக எமக்குள் வீற்றிருக்கின்றார். எம்மை நாளாந்தம் பராமரித்து, ஊட்டமளித்து, பாதுகாத்து எம்மை வழி நடத்தி வருகின்றார். எமக்குள் அனைத்துமாக எமது வாழ்வில் எமது உயிராக இருக்கின்றார். எனவே அன்னை பற்றிய ஒரு உரையை நாம் இன்று கேட்போம்.
Today is a special day, as you know. We are worshipping the goddess who came on this earth 9 times before to kill all the demons and all the negativity and relieve all the bhaktas to worship. All her work is already being described. Despite that, they find new type of devils, new type of negative people have come back. Perhaps it had to be. This had to be, maybe after all it's Kali Yuga. And the drama of Kali Yuga would not be performed unless and until they are there. So, to complete this drama, they came. But this time is going to be a very different type of war. It's going to be the war of the peaceful people. And the peaceful people are the most successful people in every walk of life, even in the war. It did not work out before. They say that when Genghis Khan came, he went to a very big monastery of Buddhists near Gaya and killed all of them. There were about 30,000 of Buddhists there. And they didn't say a word and they were all killed. So people started disbelieving in Buddhism. They said, what kind of a Buddhism is here? Why didn't Buddha save them? That's human style of thinking. Buddha should have saved these 30,000 people who were peaceful, who were resisting in a manner that was no resistance. And so they were all killed by this horrible fellow called Genghis Khan. But you'll be surprised in this Kali Yuga, this Genghis Khan has been praised by many authors, and there are books written about him. He was not a Muslim, but some sort of a crackpot. He finished off many mosques, he destroyed many beautiful buildings, and also he came to India and ruled there for a short time. All that's a history. In the same way, there have been wars between Christians and non-Christians, between Muslims and non-Muslims. All kinds of wars we have heard of, where only the faithful got lost. The real people got lost. The one who worshipped God with full faith got lost. So many people become atheists. And they said there is nothing like God, nothing like His divine power. It never existed. We were stupid, we were foolish to follow all this. And those who were in charge of religion took full advantage of that and said that these people were sinful people. These people were not godly people. And that's how they were killed by us, and we were victorious. The idea of victory they had, that they have been successful, and so many people have been butchered by us. So we come to Kali Yuga. And in Kali Yuga, same thing has started. In a subtler way, in a different way, it has started that there's a big war going on between the people who are anti-God and who are using God for their own purpose. Very dishonest, very corrupt, very cruel people. And they are using the flag of God, that banner, which they have no right to use. Then there are Sahajogis who have got their realization and they have to fight them. Now the difference in the previous wars and this war is very different. In those wars, see all those who were supposed to be victorious. This was after all the 9 battles of the Divine Mother. the negativity that came up and which became successful, started feeling very confident that we have achieved what we wanted. But in Kali Yuga, in the light of Kali Yuga, all those historical victories are regarded as shameful things, as something very aggressive and nonsensical. This is now being described everywhere. Like the white-skinned people went to America and killed all the rest of them there. Now that is coming into light. All these people who thought themselves to be victorious, their children, their grandchildren, their progeny is ashamed of them, ashamed to call that they were their forefathers. Up till the last war. This awareness which has come is the real victory of modern times, of this Kali Yuga. That everything that was accepted as a part of the game, as the lifestyle, you can call it, is now being challenged in modern times everywhere. Whatever is aggression, whatever is oppression, whatever is cruel, is now punished also. You see, so many war criminals might have escaped, but so many went into trials. Never happened before. Nobody took Genghis Khan to a trial. Now, in a very subtle way, all these aggressive people are getting now afraid that they will be questioned and they may be tortured. It started, I don't know where, but definitely at the beginning of the Kali Yuga. If you remember, in this country was a great aggressive man called Mussolini, and ultimately he was hanged. In Germany there was a very powerful man called Hitler and Himmler and all these. God knows what happened to them. Even the Germans don't want to take his name. They are all ashamed of him. Then we had somebody, say in England, Warren Hastings, who came to India. He was put to jail. This was never done before. If Napoleon aggressed people, he thought he was very victorious, but he could not continue with it. He had to face it. You see, anybody who has been aggressive, who has been dominating, who has been very cruel, demonic, has been taken to task mostly in his lifetime. Now, if not in his lifetime, afterwards he was maligned, and he doesn't have a name like a hero or anything. People don't want to erect their statues. So the awareness has come in the mind of the people. Like a person like Stalin, who ruled Russia once upon a time. Today you can't see even one statue of Stalin. These are modern times. See the power of modern times. And that is frightening to those people who think they can get along with whatever they are doing. It is going to be very soon understood by them that they have to stop all this nonsense, otherwise they will suffer. It's not those whom they are dominating, but those who are dominating will suffer. They will suffer physically, they will suffer mentally, they will suffer emotionally, and also their fame will be in the mud. So today's victory of the power of the Divine Mother is doing one very great work, is to expose. And this exposure will be condemning publicly those people who are doing wrong. If you see from that point of view, you will understand how we are victorious now. Many of you felt very sad that I didn't get the award. This award makes no difference to me, and to you also, I must tell you, because you have come without having any award, and many will come without having any award as such. But this time, for the first time, if you notice, the people who got award are condemned. Even now they are writing against it. Even now they are criticizing. So those who have been, they thought they were very smart, but the smartness is out now, and I don't know how long will it go on, because even today if you open a newspaper, you find something about it, that how stupidly they have done it. They can't understand what was the reason they have done it. Not only the people who selected are criticized, but very much more the people who are selected. Now, as being Sahajogis, we have to know what is the difference between the consciousness at that time and awareness at this time. That time it was necessary to kill those demons, finish them, but they are back again on the stage. Now, at this time, when it is Kali Yuga, they are exposed, they are condemned, they are put in the jail, they are now punished publicly. So the collective awareness has got such a great victory, I think, over these people who so many came, killed and died without getting any punishment out of it, without getting any defamation out of it. Now let us see what is consciousness and what is awareness. It's a subtle subject which I think you all can understand. Consciousness is that when you are made conscious, you become conscious about it. Like I have my hand here, all right? But normally I'm not conscious of it, that I have a hand. If a man is sleeping, he is not conscious that he is sleeping. When you tell me you have a hand, I become conscious. Or something pricks me, then I become conscious. Otherwise I am unconscious about it. I am absolutely unconscious about my eyes. I am seeing everything. But supposing I become blind, I can't see. then I become conscious of my eyes, that I have got my eyes through which now I cannot see. So once you say there is this hand, the consciousness is there. This we can say is the knowledge about the hand, that you get knowledge about the hand. But once you are not conscious of the hand, that knowledge is disappeared. So, to say there is ignorance or there is knowledge, both things are just the same. You are not conscious of your hand, so you are quite ignorant about it. Now supposing somebody says, your hands are very beautiful. Somebody remarks like that. Then I become conscious of my hand which is beautiful. Otherwise I never knew they were beautiful. So normally all human beings live at that level. That somebody has to tell you. Now somebody said you are wearing a very nice sari, all right? Then I look at it, yes, it's very nice, I never knew. So somebody has to tell you, then you become conscious, otherwise you are not. So we all human beings at that level are like that. Now, what is awareness? That's a different thing. That means if I see somebody is attacking me, I put my hand like this. That means I'm aware I have a hand. I'm not conscious, but I'm aware that I have a hand, I have to use it. Like here in Italy, you go on using your hand all the time like this. That means, you know, you are aware that you have got hands, that you have to use them for expressing something more sort of emphatically. So we are sort of also aware of our body, we are aware of others, we know about others, we know what sort of a person another one is, up till you are self-realized. After self-realization, what happens? It's very interesting. After self-realization, you go beyond both these things, consciousness and awareness. Because you go beyond thought. You have gone beyond thought means what? Anger, all kinds of ideas, all kinds of aggression, everything is maneuvered or worked through your mind. So if your mind is lost, what will you do? There's no mind anymore. You exist with reality. So there is no mind to communicate. We call it thoughtlessly aware. Yes. We have conquered all our enemies by giving up one enemy, that was our mind. There's no mind to suggest. There's no mind to tell you. So once there is no mind, you are lost. Now it is being said that you ask a question to yourself, who am I? As soon as you ask this question, you become thoughtless, so you get lost. You cannot answer this question. Otherwise you might say, I am a woman, I am this, I am that, I am a bishop, or I am a pope, I am this, I am that. But once you are a realized soul, who will tell you who you are? Because the one which tells you is the mind which doesn't exist. No thought. Means you get dissolved into yourself. This is what is reality. But you are aware also. Now, that's another point. If you ask yourself a question, you are not there. But you are aware. If your navi is catching, you immediately know my navi is catching, I have got liver. Don't have to ask questions. Or somebody standing near you, left Swadhisthana, oh my God, is this one. If somebody is very angry and hot-tempered, immediately feel such heat from that person. Say, oh Baba, run away from this man. So this is a new realm you have entered into, reality, which you are never aware before. Now supposing there's a very bad man standing near you. He might be a thief, he might be a murderer, anything. You will not be even conscious of it, leave alone aware, normally. But once you are a realized soul, you become aware of the whole. That is reality. What are the problems? In the collective, you become aware of the collective. You become aware of the problems of the whole world. Now, this awareness is very different. The first awareness, as I told you, is like this, that if somebody tells you you are this and this, you become aware of it. In this, nobody has to tell you. It's just there. You are there, you know what it is. And this is what we have achieved in these modern times, which is the blessing of the modern times also, that we know now who we are. You always say, we are the pure spirit. Yesterday also I heard it. Are you sure? What makes you believe that? That you are the pure spirit. I mean, you haven't seen your spirit, have you? You haven't seen yourself, what you are. Then how do you say you are the pure spirit? It's just you are saying something because I say so. But you are the pure spirit because whatever is the description of the pure spirit is given, that it is aware of the divine power. It is aware of the divine power. And that is how you are the pure spirit. Because only through pure spirit as your personality, you can be aware of this all-pervading power. This is written in all the Shastras, in all the scriptures, everywhere. And what do you know about yourself? that you are the spirit, because you know about your own chakras. You know about your own nadis. Now, what has happened is that you are separated from yourself and you can see yourself. You see yourself very clearly. And you start seeing yourself as the present and the past and the future. In the past, what I was, you see, you're shocked. Oh, my goodness, I was like this. You see it. Through this present state. In the present state, you see. Then you start forgetting it. Forget the past, forget the past. Then still you have the future. Then you start thinking about the future. First future, they think about their own children, their wives, such yogi goes. What will happen to my children? What will happen to my wife? Then they think, what will happen to Sajoga? Then they think, what will happen to Mataji? Also they think what will happen to this world. Because your awareness has expanded. You are not in the limited sphere now anymore. You can think of your children, you can think of your wife, also you can think of the whole world. And all the problems of the world you think. So you have reached that state, all right? Up to that state we are. Now what is the thing that covers up all this? Or gives you solutions, say for your children, for your family, your wife, everyone. What is the solution? Your mother believes in giving solutions, not only the problems. Because these days, there are not problems that existed in the Navratri. They no more exist. That you can take a sword in your hand and go and kill something. No, it doesn't. It's not possible. Cut what? So the today's problem as they are, as we see, within us, we see the problems, we are aware of it, and we want to do something about it. Whether we are in the past, present or future, we see the problem. So now, what is the solution? We have no weapons, nothing to fight. We don't know also. So many do not know even how to hold a sword in the hand. And so many don't even want to hold it. Because they are so much in compassion, in the ocean of compassion, enjoying themselves nicely. They are enjoying their own compassion and compassion of others, compassion of their mother. But then how to solve the problem? The problem can be solved if you become very powerful yourself within. Where is your attention? You have to move inward. Where is your attention? You have to become very powerful. I have done my job. I have given you realization. You have grown so much. I have explained to you, I have told you everything is done. I have given you lots of love. Ocean of love, I should say, as you call it, whatever it is. But now you have to nourish yourself. You have to become powerful within yourself. So what is the way you can become powerful? First, you must believe that you have transcended your human personality and you have now become a superhuman being. First of all, this must come in. This is what we call as faith. This faith is not false faith, is not blind faith that you believe into something. But it's a fact. I have 100 times I have told that you have first of all faith in your ascent, in your position as such. For this, meditation is very important. Very important. Without meditation, you cannot have full faith in yourself. Because you can't know yourself by saying, who am I? You cannot. You try now, ask a question again, who am I? You'll be lost. So what should be the faith then? Because when you ask a question, who am I, you are lost. So we reach a stage where I have to tell you that faith is not mental, it is not emotional, it is not physical, but it is a state of your own being, which we can call as a spiritual state. In the spiritual state, nothing can disturb you. Nothing can overpower you. Nothing can dominate you. Because that state, if you have, that means you are part and parcel of reality. Then you are an honored member of the God's kingdom. Then you are the most revered personality. Then you are like a deity. Then you are like a Gana. In that state when you are, it's a state, again I say, beyond the human state. You are extremely powerful. There's a story about Nizamuddin, great awliya, great Sufi in India. There was a horrible king, I think what Shah he called himself, and he would not go and bow to him. So he was very angry. He said, I can only bow to God and to nobody. The Shah said, if you don't come and bow to me tomorrow, I will cut your throat. And that night the throat of this king was cut. It's a story, but it's a real story. Somebody came and cut his throat, it was not Nizamuddin Shah. He would not do that. So that state, if you reach, what we call is the state of Shraddha, state of Shraddha, which is enlightened faith. It's a new type of mechanism. That is, you become part and parcel of the whole. That means the moon, the star. See, I tell you, I never told the sun that it should be there for the pujas. I never told. Last time, this time, I never tell him. There's no need to tell. It's all done. I don't tell all these vibrations to make a cross or to show all these miraculous photographs. I don't tell them. There's no need to tell. They just do it by themselves. I am sometimes surprised how ingenious methods they have of their own, how they manage things. I am myself surprised. I didn't tell them that these two persons who were selected by this award should be so condemned by every newspaper. It all works automatically. It just works. Only thing, if I have anything, is just complete faith that I am at that state. And that's why there is complete patience, saburi. Complete patience. And that is what we have to learn. It will all happen in any case, because you are all at that state. Only meditation is important, very important. For me not, but for you all. If you all can meditate now, just for 10 minutes also every day, it will help you a lot. Now, why do we have all these statues and, the Mother and the Hanumana and Ganesha, Christ? Because, to begin with, human beings cannot understand anything which does not have a form. They cannot go deeper unless and until there is a form. But they went to another limit of using any stone, anything as God and all. But now you have discretion. You know what is to be worshipped, what is to be treated as a higher personality. That you know. But before that, they would worship all kinds of people. Like now people worship Pope. You know that very well. But now what to do? They are not only blind, they are not only unaware, but they are also not conscious of it. They are all at such a level that you cannot tell them. So you are a new type of people, I should say, who have tried to fight it out, to struggle out, to know about the absolute truth. Unless and until you know the absolute truth, you are nowhere. You have no discretion, you have no understanding, you have no wisdom. But once you know the absolute truth, then you should not by any chance be halfway this and halfway that. That's a very dangerous state of affairs. Say a seed is sprouted. It is neither a seed nor a tree. If it doesn't grow, it is useless. That happens to your awareness. I'm again talking of your consciousness, awareness. And then you are neither here nor there. There are many people who come to Sahaja Yoga, perhaps maybe to find some peace. But I get letters, my father is sick, my mother is sick, my sister is sick. Then otherwise my husband is fighting with me, I am seeking a divorce. Or thirdly, I have lost all my money, I must have some money. Fourthly, I am a great artist, but my art is not selling. All these stupid problems they bring. My children are no good, they are troublesome. Then my wife is fighting with me, my mother is fighting with me, brother is fighting. I said, now what sort of Sahaja Yoga is that? The state of being one with the reality means that the whole of reality is at your feet. Whole of it works for you. And once you even get a glimpse of that state, I tell you, you become so much peaceful within yourself. If you say, I am the king, I am the king. If you say, I am the beggar, I am the beggar. What difference does it make? To that state, which is like a purest of pure gold, which cannot be tarnished. Such a state of mind we have to develop. It's more a challenge to us. We are Sahaja Yogis, all right. We have got realization, all right. We can sing very well, all right. We have achieved good positions, all right. We are nicely married, all right. We got nice children, we have got everything, we have got jobs, this, that. Now, suddenly one negative force comes into trouble. So what? So what? Otherwise, how will you know what you are? If there is no darkness, how will you know you are the light? It's a challenge to your own state, at what state you are. The word state is not so explanatory in Sanskrit, it's Swarupa. Swarupa. Swa is yourself and a Rupa is form or state. That state is possible for all of you by saying not this, not this, not this, not this. As it is, your mind has reached that state that there is no mind. You can't do that. But you have to develop a kind of a personality that realizes what you are. But in that realization, you are just aware of it, not conscious of it. Or for example, I'll tell you. I am aware that I am Adi-Shakti. I am aware, I know. But when you say Jai Shri Mataji, I also say Jai Shri Mataji, forgetting that I am the one you are talking about. This is actually should be the state. That you are aware, yes, you are aware in the sense in the, I don't know how to say, but I am aware, I am that. If you ask me, Mother, are you Adi-Shakti? I said, yes, I am. Because I know that I am. But when you say, Jai Shri Mataji, I forget that I am Adi-Shakti, I also say Jai Shri Mataji with you. I forget, I have to tell you, no, you can't say. It's very interesting. Now, you make me sit here like a queen and give me a presents, this thing, that thing, I mean, all right. That's your idea. But to me, you see, I am complete in myself, I think so. जैसे हिंदी में कहेंगे कि हम अपने ही अंदर समा गए हैं. I am got lost into myself. All right, you do this, all right, if you do that, all right. If you don't do it, it's all right. To me it makes no difference. It may make difference to you. But to me it does not. Like I have been saying that don't give me any presents, don't give me any presents all these days. So the only argument is that in a whole year we give you once, so why should you mother object? Because that gives us joy. All right, if you think it gives you joy, do it. But to me, it doesn't matter. Because I don't think I'm there. I'm just seeing you sitting here, all right. They're all realized souls, all right. But I'm one of you. I don't think I'm very special. But if you ask me, then I will say, all right, I'm Adi-Shakti. But I don't think Adi-Shakti is very special also. Because I have no mind. But otherwise, I don't think it's something special. Because somebody is something, so what? Now supposing sun is sun. So what? He is a sun. If somebody is Adi-Shakti, so what? But for you it is credited. Because you were not born realized. You got your realization. So you are special. You are great. You have achieved something. I have achieved nothing. I have been like this and I will be like this. Whether I fight the devils or I sit before you makes no difference. I will be like that. But for me, you are great because you have achieved this. Today to see on this Navratri day, so many people sitting to worship. So many people are here. So many Sahajogis. It's so remarkable. It's not my achievement, I tell you. It's your seeking. Because I've been on this earth many a times before. That you know. But we never had like this. So many came, got crucified, died, this, that. I never had people of this kind. So again we come to the same point that we should be aware of ourselves. Complete Shraddha in yourself. If you have some Shraddha in yourself, you will have Shraddha about me also. Because we are not different. If you believe this is water, then everywhere there is water, I believe that that is water, isn't it? Because I know this is water. So wherever in the world there is water, I know it is water. So if you know you are a Sahajogi, anywhere there is a Sahajogi, you know there is a Sahajogi, this is Sahajogi. But as far as you are concerned, you forget how great you are and how far you can. I am very proud of you, don't know. But because I am a humble person, I don't know how to show off. So have such nice children, so many of them, so lovable. Those bhaktas for whom she killed so many demons and all that. We are not like you. We are much better, much higher, of a much greater quality. But you must know that you are. Don't behave like those people who were of a very rudimentary nature. You have grown up, you have prospered, and now the fruits we can see. I don't know what to do for you, really. But have faith in yourself. Then you will see how much faith you will have in reality, that there is reality with you at every step, every moment. No fear, no sense of achievement, nothing. Done now, finished. When there were 5 Sahajogis, I was happy. When there are so many, I am happy. But when I see so many, I think there are so many powerful personalities who are one with reality. This collective oneness was never so. And so I would say that on this day, what we have to do is to kill the devils within ourselves. That's all. If you want to really worship me, that's what you have to think. What are the devils within you? That's all. You don't have to worry otherwise for outside devils. They cannot do anything to you. May God bless you.
சிறிது நேரம் அமைதியான தியானத்தில் இருப்போம். Matatjin இந்த அருமையான உரை மிக எளிமையான முறையில் மிக ஆழமான கருத்துக்களை நமக்கு புரிய வைக்கின்றார். இந்த உரையை நாம் மீண்டும் மீண்டும் கேட்கும் போது அதை நன்கு புரிந்து கொள்ளலாம். நமது சாஸ்திரத்தில் ஸ்ரீ மாதச்சிக்கு எமது இதயபூர்வமான நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்து எம்மையும் அந்த உண்மையின் நிலைக்கு, அந்த உண்மையோடு, உண்மை தத்துவம் ஆத்ம தத்துவத்தோடு ஒன்றான நிலைக்கு நமக்கு அறிவூட்டி நம்மை வழி நடத்தி செல்வதற்கு இதயபூர்வமான கோடானு கோடி நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்து குண்டலினி அணை எழுப்பி கவசம் விட்டுக்கொள்வோம். முதலாவது முறை. இரண்டாவது முறை. மூன்றாவது முறை. கவசம், மூலாதாரம், சுவாதிஷ்டானம், நாபி பவசாகரம், இருதயம், விசுத்தி ஆகிய சஹஸ்ராரம். இரு கைகளையும் கூப்பி வணங்கி இன்றைய தியானத்தை நாம் முடித்துக் கொள்வோம். மற்றும் ஃபேஸ்புக், ஜூம் இணைந்திருக்கும் அனைத்து அன்பர்களுக்கும் எமது இதயபூர்வமான நன்றிகளும் வணக்கங்களும். ஜூமில் இருப்பவர்